Africa. With SendWave, you can send money to Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. And the best part is, SendWave is absolutely commission-free. Our exchange rates are excellent. You can see for yourself by checking them out on our website. So how do you use SendWave? SendWave is an app that you can download onto your phone from the App Store or Google Play Store. The app is free to download. After downloading it, just open the app and enter your name, email, and phone number. That's it. You're good to go. Make sure you use the promo code SR. S for star, R for radio. This promo code will give you £5 free credit to send to Africa on your first transaction. Your money will be delivered to your recipient within seconds. Feel free to call me on 0749 7377 647 at any time. I'll be happy to tell you all about SendWave and help you in any way I can. Remember to use the promo code SR for £5 free credit. Medasse.
Hi everyone, it's your girl BB Clement, the author of How to Go From Employee to Entrepreneur and the host of your weekly business show, BB Means Business, the show where we discuss everything you ever wanted to know about business but you were afraid to ask. How do I start my business? How do I raise the finance? How do I grow my business? Where am I going to find my customers? Join me every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. on Star Radio UK to get all the information and tips that you need to become a successful entrepreneur and become financially free. Remember, don't let life dictate to you. Rather, put your signature on life.
Are you looking for the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy door-to-door shipment company? Well, look no further. When was the last time your family received a shipment back in Ghana on time and in time? You are not sure? Well, Lamb Shippers, we pride ourselves with being the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy shippers you can use. You are assured of a prompt pickup anywhere in the UK by our personnel. They also make sure your items are well packaged to get to its destination in time. When it comes to door-to-door shipment, look no further. Well, Lamb Shippers, contact us on 07939009321 or 07498911820. Or you can visit our website www.welllamp.co.uk. You can also drop us a mail, info@welllamp@gmail.com. Well Lamp Shippers, fast, reliable, and trustworthy.
Hi there. Are you dreaming of owning your own house in Ghana? Then you will need a well-documented piece of land that is free from troubles. I highly recommend My Africa Property for any size of land that you will need. With My Africa Property, lands are available in Pram, Sopoli, Tohenia, Ogome, Dodova, Winneba, and many other locations at affordable prices. These locations are about an hour away from the airport, only 35 minutes from the motorway, 10 minutes drive from Central University College, 10 minutes drive to the beach, and close to Pram Senior High School and Ghana Men's Soccer Center of Excellence. For more details, visit our website www.myafricaproperty.com or call our UK office on 0208 123 2523. For our US and Canada offices, call us on +1 585 184 994145. You can also email us at ghana@myafricaproperty.com.
Getting onto the property ladder has never been easy until now. Join us this and every Thursday from 7 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. live on the Property Hour Show on Star Radio UK, where we talk to mortgage brokers, property developers, estate agents, landlord, tenant, property consultants on how to invest or get into the property business and make money. You can't afford to miss this. The Property Hour Show is your best source into the property industry.
Check me out. He tells me my energy is making him tired.
Yes.
How do you get the energy to do
I've been told that I have a lot of energy, but my goodness, I think today I have met my match, people. I have met my match, Miss Suzanne. Wow, amazing.
One of the things that's the start of the darkness. Hole of darkness. So what did that? Myself and the world will adjust. And 2019,
Forget the proverbial boardroom. Join me, Simone Frazier, on the CEO, the program that gives you the driving seat over your life. Every Tuesday, 8 p.m. only on Star Radio.
Listen to Aunties Mary, Lottie and Regina on the Family Enrichment Programme on Star Radio UK. This and every Saturday from 6 to 8 p.m.
Some people are wicked because don't make it your business going about revealing
people's secrets. Don't be a busybody.
And some people. Today's typical family is under pressure from various directions. Divorce is on the increase. More and more of the Afro-Caribbean youth are taking to crime, etc. The Family Enrichment Program brings together a team of qualified experts to discuss and shed light on how we can make our families better and stronger. It is said the family can do without the society, but the society can't. Listen to the Family Enrichment Program this and every Saturday from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. on Star Radio UK, your favourite Afro-Caribbean radio station in London.
Download our app in iTunes and the Google Play Store.
All around the world.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Well, and a very good evening and welcome to Star Radio UK. It is your finest African and Caribbean radio station in London. My name is Olayomi Koiki and I welcome each and every one of you into the program this evening. It is Wednesday edition as usual, and this is how the second Wednesday of the month. It is still the month of February, a very, very important month in the history of Nigeria, as there will be quite a lot to discuss. I welcome each and every one of you that have joined us so far. I welcome those of you that have joined us on the sister broadcast as well. And I say good evening and welcome to Star Radio UK. First and foremost, I'd like to appreciate, my producer, Mr. Frank and Mr. Archie, that are working round the clock. And we say thank you so much, for the good job that you're doing to make sure that, we can bring, this program live into the conversation. We say thank you to everyone that has also joined us, around the world. It is a very, very important time in the history of Nigeria. And as we always say, Star Radio UK is here to give you all the latest information, what you need to know. We're going to be telling you the countdown. We might have to open our phone line tonight. We will see, what we can do, because quite a lot of people also want to get in touch with us. As you're joining into the conversation, sit back, relax, and let us enjoy the program. We are live on so many multiple platforms tonight. Good evening to those of you that have joined us on the Star Radio UK platform. Good evening to those of you that have joined us on our sister broadcast as well. So it is one of those nights that there is a lot to discuss. My name again is Olayomi Koiki. Good evening to Frank. Good evening to the Star Radio UK team, and good evening to all our viewers and listeners from around the world. Moki Gbubowa níbikíbi tí ẹ bá ti ń darapọ̀ tí ẹ ti fi gbọ́ wa ní àṣálẹ́ yìí. Orúkọ tèmi náà ni Olayomi Koiki. Lórí ètò Star Radio UK ní àtúpàdé ní àṣálẹ́ yìí, níbi tí a ti máa fi ọ̀rọ̀ jọ wé ọ̀rọ̀, a máa gbé yẹ̀wò bí nǹkan ṣe ń lọ ní Nigeria. The topic tonight is the impact of the Naira and the false scarcity of Nigerians. You might want to tell us your experience. Ṣé ẹ̀ ń rí owó gbà? Ṣé ẹ̀ ń rí epo rà? All this is part of the conversation tonight. And as we go into the program, we kickstart with some of the Nigerians' messages that we are getting back in the country for those of us that are outside. First and foremost, let us listen to Evangelist, Ebube from this beautiful track.
Mohamed Buhari want to come out from that seat this year, 2023. I have only one prayer point to pray for President Mohamed Buhari. The prayer is, President Mohamed Buhari, if you do Nigeria good, may good follow you as you come out from that seat. But if you do Nigeria bad, let bad things follow you as you come out from that seat. That is the only one prayer point that I will pray for President Mohamed Buhari. 100% of poor people in Nigeria are crying because of this thing you people are introducing in Nigeria. They are crying, you people don't care. That is the wicked leaders. Nigeria is a country. When their citizens will start crying, weeping, agony, that's the only thing that can make their leaders happy. A country that when their citizens go to cry, weeping, agony, their leaders will go to rejoice. That is a wicked country. A country where their politicians are drinking the blood of their citizens. That is a wicked generation, wicked country. A country that their leaders, politicians are drinking the blood of the citizen. They don't care. So I don't know what our leaders are doing to us. If the money want to go to China and the other countries, if we want all the Nigerians to help people to pay them, tell us we go contribute. Why are you people suffering us? On a one do cashless society where Nigeria never develop, no road, no light, no hospital. On a leave all those important things. Leave the most important thing you people supposed to do in Nigeria. One come introduce all cashless society where Nigeria never developed. There are some villages now, if you go to that village, you will not see any network at all. So those villages now, where no get service, they cannot do transfer. How will they survive? I don't know what is happening to our leaders. Go for market now, those old women where they sell tomato, where they sell provisions now, they even some of them don't have account. How can they sell? How can they buy? President Mohamed Buhari and the governor of Central Bank of Nigeria, you people should stop this thing. Look at many people suffering, hardship, fuel, everything. People are crying and people are rejoicing. What a wicked nation is this? When I introduce something and see people, poor people are crying about this thing that you people introduce us to this country, and you people don't care. That is a wicked leader. You people don't care at all. I know that you people have plan. You people have plan for this thing that you people are doing, but God will expose your plan. All this plan that you people have want to do in Nigeria, God will expose it. God will destroy that plan. I'm the one that's saying it. If you go for other country, America, they are doing cultural society. But you go see, they are not complaining, but look at Nigeria. No, the flow of service not there. Go do transfer. Your money go hang. Your money go hang on there. Nothing. Make us stop all this we are doing. President Mohamed Buhari and the governor of Central Bank of Nigeria. Make us stop all these things.
Well, that is just one out of the so many conversations. Once again, to our listeners from around the world, Nigerians are going through a very, very difficult time in the history of Nigeria, and it seems that the government are very, very adamant. You might probably not know what is going on in Nigeria, but we will take you through some of those things that Nigerians are facing presently. As we speak right now, so many Nigerians are finding it very difficult to access, their hard-earned money. I mean, imagine you have money in the bank account, but you cannot get access to it. And the reason for that is because, the federal government of President Muhammadu Buhari decided to change, the 1,000 naira, the 500 naira, the 200 naira into a new, money. And that money has become, one of the most difficult, strain in the hearts of so many Nigerians. So Lale, we want to look into, some of these scarcity. How are you coping is the question to a lot of us that are outside the country. Good evening to you, our mother, Mrs. Comfort Adeleye. Adeleye Wasiu Adewale, good evening to you. John, good evening to you. School player, good evening to you. Olakunle, good evening to you. And good evening to those of you that have joined us from around the world. The new Naira note, the Central Bank of Nigeria, not greater than Nigerian law. The deadline is on Friday. I'm not sure whether Nigerians are prepared for what is about to hit them in the next 2 days. The deadline actually, has been changed from, 31st of January and extended for another 10 days. But that 10 days is also winding down in the next 2 days. And Nigerians, good evening to you, Yawa Taiwo Kike, and those of you that have joined us from around the world. My question is, why is it that Nigeria has to suffer Nigerians? And why is it that nobody is asking the question? We know that Nigeria is a country with so many mixed bags. But it seems that this time around, Nigerians are now facing more difficulties in the last, 8 years of the Buhari's government. We know that the government of President Muhammadu Buhari has been a nepotism government, a government that is as wicked as not taking care, thinking about an average Nigerian. Let us remind you that this was the same government that decided that when they were coming in 2014, they were going to change the lives of so many Nigerians. But we now realize that this is the government that have used Nigerians' PVC for those that voted anyway in 2015 and brought this government. This government has literally shown a lot of Nigerians hell. People might not understand what hellfire means, but I can tell you categorically that Nigeria is one place that is on hellfire. And so many people that are very, very, adamant have been speaking. Those that have said that, it seems that this government does not really care. Let's first listen again to, Reverend Father Mbaka that was saying exactly what a lot of other Catholic bishops are not saying. Let's listen to him.
Scarcity. Leaders should quickly release Nnamdi Kanu. We cannot just be distracted by the new currency, by fuel scarcity. And there is a problem. Judiciary is dying. If the court can acquit somebody and somebody will say no, then the country is gone. It's a coup d'etat against judiciary.
For those of you that might probably not know those that are not Nigerians, Nigerians know Father Mbaka very well, but those that are not Nigerians might probably not know him. So let me give you the background. He's the one on the right side of the screen and President Muhammadu Buhari on the left. Ejike Camillus Anthony Ebenezer Mbaka, known as Father Mbaka, is a Catholic cleric, a musician, and the founder of Adoration Ministry in Enugu, southeast part of Nigeria. Is noted for being one of the most prominent religious leaders in the southeast part of Nigeria. 2 days ago, he actually said, and I quote, Mbaka demands immediate release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Nnamdi Kanu's case is like a trigger in the gun. You must be careful how you touch the trigger when the gun is loaded. Let's hear more from him.
Our people are suffering. A lot of suffering in the country. Perpetuated by our so-called leaders. I'm not a politician and I don't intend to be one. I'm a prophet of God. My job is to speak when God is angry. I will represent the voice of God in anger. When God is happy, I will speak and represent the voice of God in joy. The promises are suffering. Today is Nnamdi Kanu, tomorrow it can be you. And you go to court and court will say release this person. And the governor or the president will say no. If holding that young man will cripple this country, why not release him? Nnamdi Kanu's case is like a trigger in the gun. You must be careful how you touch the trigger when they go.
Good evening to it is King AY all the way in Akure. Good evening, young boy Dan. Good evening to you, Wasiu Oluwafemi Coded in Miloju. Good evening to you and welcome to Star Radio UK Niger Voices. We are looking at the four Scarcity and likewise we are looking at the Naira, the new redesign. But right now is Father Mbaka speaking directly to one of the most, what we can say, the most wicked government that we've ever come across in the history of Nigeria. APC government has really shown Nigerians hellfire. Let's listen again.
Please loaded. And don't tell anybody he's a nobody. He represents a people. And finally, the court has said, release him. Why not release him? Especially for health reasons. I have to render my voice so that when tomorrow the leaders begin to suffer calamity,
okay, so that is Father Mbaka again, doing what he loves to do best, speaking, directly, to the government and asking and demanding, the injustice that federal government is serving to so many Nigerians. Once again, you're live on myself here as we are looking into, the new currency and likewise so many other. There's quite a lot of video that we will be putting out there, but at about almost 1900 hours, which is 7 p.m. local time in London. That will be about 8 p.m. local time in Nigeria because Nigeria is 1 hour ahead of us. Amashi phone line. But before then, residents fled after, suspected terrorists macheted men to death in Enugu State. This government has failed woefully on security. This government has failed on economy. This government has failed on the welfare being of so many Nigerians who actually still believe that, election is going to hold. And what actually are those that probably never know, is Nigeria really a country or is Nigeria a country of multiple nations put together, in 1914? Let us listen to this TikTok user that gave us a proper definition around the 2023 and why many Nigerians need to know who actually and how the creation of Nigeria came about. Once again, let's go to another video. You might be hearing just the audio, but once again, I'll appreciate my producer that are working behind the scene, the sound engineer, and here he goes. Okay, bear with us, it's coming through a different, device, but the engineers are working on that quickly. And now let's go back and listen to that video. Shout out to those in Turkey. We're going to be coming back to you in just about a few minutes. Almost 8,000 people have died between Turkey and Syria. We have a lot of Nigerians there. We have a lot of Yorubas, and we have a lot of Biafrans. We have a lot of Hausa and other people that are living there. And our condolences goes to every victim that has been affected. We are saying on behalf of Star Radio UK right here, on behalf of Star Radio UK to the Turkish government that, whatever is happening right now, we pray and we hope that, nature will calm down a little bit. I can confirm that 10 particular states in Turkey has been declared state of emergency for the next 3 months. There is quite a lot of help coming from different, international, bodies and countries trying to get as many people that they can still rescue, but I can confirm that 8,000 people have lost their lives. So on behalf of Star Radio UK, our condolence goes to Turkey and the Turkish government.
the results will affect not only our country, but the entire region of West Africa and in turn the rest of the world. Because you know that our resources are fueling a lot of people. But I just found out something crazy about the origins of Nigeria that shocks the hell out of me. Nigeria was never meant to be a country. It was something else entirely. In this video, I'm going to tell you exactly what I discovered. Oh, and I want to acknowledge Burna Boy for bringing my attention to this in his song Another Story on his album African Giants. Thank you for inspiring this video, and all of you, let Burna Boy know he got to me, and now I'm sharing this information with you. The creation of Nigeria was never about democracy, never about Christianity. It was all about money, business, and profit. None of it for us. Pay attention. The area now known as Nigeria was called the Slave Coast up to 1870. This was the point at which the British had stopped slave trading and moved on to palm oil as their primary commodity out of Nigeria. One of the main suppliers of palm oil was the Benin Kingdom, and you have to watch my video of one of the greatest African kings most probably ever heard of, Oba Ovoranwe. This is an important story for me personally because I am from that region, so they are my people, and his fight with the empire over palm oil is one of the greatest stories of African colonial history. Anyway, everyone wanted palm oil, and especially the British. A man called George Goldie set up the United African Company in 1879, which was then changed to the National African Company. He structured the palm oil business in the Niger Delta region, and by 1884 he had a monopoly that the British could exploit. So in 1886, Goldie violated the agreement he had made with the chiefs and moved his operations into River Niger and Benue. The company was also renamed at this point to Royal Niger Company. Goldie tricked the chiefs into signing unfair trade deals, giving Goldie exclusive rights to export palm oil instead of what the chiefs thought would be free trade. These contracts were written in English, a language we didn't understand, and based on laws that were not our own. Now guys, this is similar to something I learned when I was in university about the deals done with the Native Americans in what is now known as the United States of America. Very similar thing where deals were done in contracts in English.
So what these particular gentlemen, good evening to my mother, good evening to Julia Tosi, good evening to those of you that have joined us around the world. Must be a very good evening to you, my brother, and keep up the good work that you're doing. We appreciate and we love you for all the great things that you're doing in terms of the Yoruba nation struggle. In time, Nigeria, a country that is full of so much to discuss. Nigeria, a country where you wake up in the morning and you never know what next is coming onto your table. And we are asking the question, the impact that Nigerians are feeling on this currency is becoming quite alarming. And so many Nigerians are becoming more angry. So many Nigerians are now also going to the bank naked. But somebody has been saying something. Let us listen to one of the very old video that is now popped up again of Dr. Oloye Sunday Igboho. And this is what he had to say in that 22nd video that he made some few years ago. Ohun bàbá wa olóyè Chief Sunday òun ni aṣègbọ́tọ̀ yẹn. Ẹ jẹ́ ká tún gbọ́ lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí i tí bàbá wa Dr. Olóyè Sunday Igboho sọ pé ìjọba tá wà nínú ẹ̀ ìjọba lágbádá ni. Ẹ rí pé Buhari fúnra rẹ̀ kò ń ṣaṣọ sójà ló wọ̀ bígbà tó wá nígbà tí ó wá kógun ja Nàìjíríà ní 1983 tó overthrow ìjọba alágbádá. Òun fúnra rẹ̀ wà nínú ìjọba alágbádá nísìn, àmọ́ ìṣesí ẹ̀, ìwà ẹ̀, gbogbo tó ń ṣe lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ òun àti àwọn ẹmẹ̀wẹ̀ rẹ̀ tọ́jọ́ ń ṣe ìjọba burúkú, ìjọba tó dá níjọba Buhari, ìjọba tó ń pani lẹ́kún, ìjọba téèyàn ti ń lọ sínú báǹkì tó ń bọ́ rẹ̀ sílẹ̀ ní wòwò ọmọlúàbí, ìjọba tó ń sọ fún àwọn ọmọ Nàìjíríà pé ẹ lówó nínú báǹkì yín àmọ́ ẹ lẹ́tọ̀ọ́ láti gbà. ẹjẹ́ àtúgbọ́hùn bàbá wa olóyè Sunday Adéyẹmọ Ìgbòho lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí i.
ìjọba táwọn ìjọba alágbádá ní ọ̀dẹ̀kan mo lè dúkòkò mẹ́rin ọ̀fífà yìí gbà wá láti sọ̀rọ̀ láti sọ̀rọ̀ kẹta afẹ́ fún ìjọba láti sọ̀rọ̀ kẹta dùn wá ẹnìkan wọlé gbọdọ̀ dúkòkò mẹ́rin kàkà tí ò lẹ́nu kẹkẹ tí ò lẹ́nu mẹ́rin kàkà. òye mo lè bẹ̀rẹ̀ tó mi nà àwọn àlẹ́ mọ́ mi ìjọba àgbọ̀dọ̀ mo lè lè wá kúkú lè jó ilé babẹ́ òfífà yìí gbà wá láti béèrè ẹ̀tọ́ wa lọ́wọ́ ìjọba ìjọba tí lè ń bẹ́ńtà yìí náà ìjọba tó létí ni wọ́n bẹ̀ lé ìjọba táwọn ìjọba alágbádá ní ọ̀dẹ̀kan mo lè dúkòkò mẹ́rin ọ̀fífà yìí gbà wá láti sọ̀rọ̀ kẹta afẹ́ fún ìjọba láti sọ̀rọ̀ kẹta dùn wá ẹnìkan wọlé gbọdọ̀ dúkòkò mẹ́rin kàkà tí ò lẹ́nu kẹkẹ tí ò lẹ́nu mẹ́rin kàkà. òye mo lè bẹ̀rẹ̀ tó mi nà àwọn àlẹ́ mọ́ mi ìjọba àgbọ̀dọ̀ mo lè lè wá kúkú lè jó ilé babẹ́ òfífà yìí gbà wá láti béèrè ẹ̀tọ́ wa lọ́wọ́ ìjọba.
bàbá wa lóyè ló sọ̀rọ̀ pé òfin gbà wá láyè láti béèrè fẹ́tọ̀ wa àmọ́ lẹ́ni ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ ọmọ Nàìjíríà wọ́n ti ń bọ́ra sí wòwò. ẹ káàbọ̀ sórí ètò bàbá wa Lánrè Lámínà. mo kí gbogbo ẹ̀yin tí ẹ ti ń wọlé sínú ètò talẹ́ yìí. ìjọba burúkú, ìjọba mùjẹmùjẹ, ìjọba tí kò fẹ́ ṣàánú aráàlú, òun la wà nínú ẹ̀ lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́. ìjọba tó ń panilẹ́kún, ìjọba tí gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá àtọmọ Ìgbò àtàwùsá tí gbogbo wọn ń gbóhùn sókè. ẹja tó gbọ́ fídíò yìí lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20,000 láti aago mẹ́jọ tí mo ti lọ tó sí báńkì. Ogun àjànú rè mo kó gbogbo owó tí mo ní nílé mo kó lọ sí báńkì mo fẹ́ gba owó tuntun láti 5 days. gbogbo owó ta fi ń ṣiṣẹ́ àtowó àjọ tá a gbà àtowó olówó tí mo gbà tó jẹ́ pé old money tí mo ní òkè o ká kó lọ sí báńkì ká gba owó tuntun jáde láti aago mẹ́jọ tí mo ti lọ tó sí báńkì 20,000 ni mo rí gbà. mo ti wọ́n rùn wọn láwọn oògùn báńkì mi mo ń lo báńkì márùn ibi kan ṣoṣo ni mo dé tí mo ti rí gbà gbogbo báńkì mi pátápátá wọn kówó síbẹ̀ ẹnu ìkànnà kó.
So again, for those that do not understand, this particular audio is also narrating that she has been to more than 5 banks, but she has not been able to get access to her money. And this money that is meant to be, a working money as a trader, they've actually been told to bring back all their money. But in the northern part of Nigeria is a complete different thing entirely. Let us listen again to these particular women that are also accusing Bola Tinubu. Let's hear what they have to say. Okay, for those that do not understand, this beautiful language known as Yoruba, those women are from, Osun State, and they are actually pointing finger to the person that brought in the arrangement of President Muhammadu Buhari, which is Tinubu. Good evening to you, Pastor Mo, and welcome to Niger Voices. Nibiti Atingbeyewo. The impact of Naira and fuel scarcity on Nigerians. Once again, we welcome those of you that have joined us so far. And I say thank you so much to my, my very good producer, Mr. Archie, and Frank, that are working, around the clock. That are working around the clock. So, ẹ jẹ́ ká tún gbọ́ fídíò àwọn tí wọ́n point finger sí Tinubu pé Tinubu ó lè ìwọ náà ló gbé Buhari wá. Buhari nísìn tí wọ́n ń deal pẹ̀lú everybody. The monster country is Nigeria, but the government that is meant to make life easy is making it worse. Ẹ káàbọ̀ sórí ètò ìyàwó àrùkà àtọmọ́wọ̀n. Tó bá di aago méje ìyẹn ti London time, aago mẹ́jọ ní ti Nàìjíríà, a máa ṣe ojú òpó láti gbọ́ láti ẹnu àwọn ọmọ Nàìjíríà. Àmọ́ gbogbo àwọn àwòrán tá à ń play lọ́wọ́ yìí, àwọn ni gbogbo reaction àwọn ọmọ Nàìjíríà in the last few days. So these are mothers that are protesting, but there is still more to go into it. Let's again listen to these are very beautiful sister that is also complaining about not getting access to her money. Ẹ káàbọ̀ sórí ètò ìyàwó Esther.
Ẹ sọ wọn ta ṣe wọn tán kí ló ṣẹlẹ̀? Ẹ jẹ́ ká focus lórí life wa. Ẹlòmíì nǹkan gbogbo nǹkan tó fẹ́ ṣe ní life ẹ jẹ́ kó ní ṣe ẹ dàrú ayé everybody rú kí ló ṣẹlẹ̀ gan? Kí ló dé? Ọba ògbóni tí wọ́n wà yẹn ní agbára Ọlọ́run ní jẹ́ kẹ́ rí mú. Orí ìyá ò ní jẹ́ kẹ́ rí mú because kò ń ṣe Fúlàní kò dẹ̀ kí ń ṣe terrorist. Gbogbo apádà ló máa jáde sí yín. Gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá pátá ló máa jáde sí yín. Gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá pátá ló máa jáde sí yín. Ọba ògbóni ò kí ń ṣe terrorist. Ó sọ̀rọ̀ lásán ni. Torí pé ó gbé pọ́ńpù aṣọ síta. Ẹ wá ń wá káàkiri ẹ declare wanted. Àwọn tó ń ṣe kàtó ń pààyàn káàkiri ẹ declare wanted. Fúlàní ń gbéyàn. Ó ń gba 5 million 20 million 30 million lọ́wọ́ àwọn èèyàn. Ṣé máa sọ pé ẹ̀ mọ ibi tí wọ́n wà ni? Ṣé máa sọ yìí pé ẹ̀ mọ ibi tí wọ́n wà?
Again, this particular young Yoruba woman is also lamenting about the currency and also the declaration of one of our brother, our father, our uncle as a wanted when there's a Fulani terrorist that is killing, collecting ransom in millions, and the government is not doing anything. Good evening to you, young Tezi. Good evening to those of you on the Instagram as well. Ede Katulogbo, this particular one coming now from the southeast part of Nigeria, and I believe, I'm told, this young man, not young man, is a man, is also an actor. But before then, let's hear what Mazi Nnamdi Kanu actually said, some few years ago, that there is a particular country that maybe Nigerians should go get a visa, but maybe Nigerians disagree with Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. But let's see, maybe we can agree with him tonight.
If you don't allow we Biafrans to go, that zoological republic of Nigeria will be a worse place than Somalia, and today it is happening. And if you have not applied for your Somalian visa, please try and do so. If that's a Somali visa, try and do so as quickly as possible, because the zoo is on the path of destruction. And there is nothing man can do to reverse it. Mark today's date, and I'm telling you, Nigeria will be destroyed beyond human comprehension.
Well, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, some few years ago said Nigeria will be destroyed. And maybe we should just hear that again. And this is just coming out exactly 18:44 p.m. local time in London, GMT. My name is Olayomi Koiki, and I present this program every Wednesday where we look at issues affecting not just Nigerians, the indigenous people. Let's hear one more time from what Mazi Nnamdi Kanu had to say.
If you don't allow we Biafrans to go, that zoological republic of Nigeria will be a worse place than Somalia, and today it is happening. And if you have not applied for your Somalian visa, please try and do so. If that's a Somali visa, try and do so as quickly as possible, because the zoo is on the path of destruction, and there is nothing man can do to reverse it. Mark today's date, but I'm telling you, Nigeria will be destroyed beyond human comprehension.
So, is it that the indigenous people are the one going to destroy Nigeria, or is it the government itself that would like to destroy Nigeria? There are now more Nigerians, or should I say non-Nigerians. We don't know how they were able to get into the country, but according to the next audio that we're going to be listening to, which is coming from the immigration services in Nigeria, that has arrested about 1,000 non-Nigerians from Chad, from Niger, and guess what? Yes, they also have PVC. Let's hear from them.
if you are not a Nigerian and you are in possession of permanent voters card, you committed an offense. You have to be arrested and be eased out. We have done that in the past. And those of them that are here, that are practically here, where they are being profiled, and when they are profiled, we are going to find out whether some of them are still in possession of PVCs because they are from a different zone. The last one was Kaduna zone. We retrieved more than 1,000 PVCs.
Okay, so these are a bunch of non-Nigerians. How they were able to manage to get the PVC that is going to be used, in 16 days for deciding the fate of Nigerians. But some non-Nigerians have been able to infiltrate the system. We don't know who brought them into the country. We don't know how they got into Nigeria. But tonight, they've also been able to have PVC. And the voice that you are getting right now is actually coming from the Nigerian Immigration Services to say that we have arrested non-Nigerians from Niger and Chad, but they also have PVC that is meant to be used to decide the fate of who becomes the next president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Now, as they are being profiled, officers are still checking to find out if they are in possession of these cards. Not only PVC, some of them are even in possession of local government indigenous forms, which we are going to retrieve.
So they are not just having PVC. Good evening to you, Capel, comedian. Good evening, Mrs. Root. These people are not sorry. PVC economy. Some of them have even had access to government fund. Nigeria has become, like Nnamdi Kanu was saying there, Somalia will be much better than Nigeria, but it seems some Nigerians probably do not understand what is about to happen. If you have just joined us, this is Star Radio UK. It is your finest African and Caribbean radio station in London. In 13 minutes, we will open the phone line. We give you the number to call. It's a WhatsApp number only, and you'll be able to add your own input as well. Once again, bear with us. It seems that particular audio, seems to be going in and out.
We are able to track more than 1,000 non-Nigerians. We have hit them out because they do not have a valid means to stay in Nigeria.
So, if they do not have the valid means to stay in Nigeria, how did they get into Nigeria in the first place? How would they want Nigeria? I mean, if I want to come to America, you can't just get to America. You have to either have the relinquished document that will allow you to travel to America. How would I want people in Nigeria? How did they manage to get to Nigeria? And not just get to Nigeria, they even have the guts to have the permanent voters card that some Nigerians do not even have access to get.
The greater number are from Niger currently.
The greater number of those that the immigration and the Nigerian custom is saying that majority of those are from Niger. How many of them? Let's hear.
65% of them.
65% of Awotowasi Nigeria, and they have the PVC. 65% non-Nigerians have PVC. How many part of the state in the northeast, the northwest, or southwest and southeast, the middle belt, do we have all these people? Thank you so much, Mrs. Ruth. That will not say one Nigeria. That will not. I mean, to get a PVC, what is the process? I don't know. I mean, maybe if you call, maybe you'll be able to tell us about PVC. How do you get a PVC? What kind of document do you need to give before you can get a PVC? Do you need to show a form of identification, a Nigerian passport? So these 65% non-Nigerians are probably also been issued with a Nigerian passport or one form of identification that would then allow them to get the PVC. Nigeria is going through a very, very rough time. I say good evening once again.
And we have nationals from Togo, Senegal.
We also have some from Togo, Senegal. How they all got to Nigeria and able to have the PVC is a question I'm asking tonight.
And Chad. And by His grace, we are moving to the other zone, which is Kafanchan zone, all in an effort to make sure that non-Nigerians do not participate in the electoral process.
Well, that is, the immigration services speaking there. Let's hear again quickly from now. This brother from Southeast is an actor. also complaining about the Naira and likewise the fuel scarcity.
When I talk and say it don't worst. It don't worst. This one is 1,600. Debit, I don't see them. This one is 4,000. This one is 4,000. I don't see them.
So in case you don't understand, it's actually showing us some receipts that has been given to him at the ATM. So imagine you go to the ATM in UK or in America, in Canada, in Europe, or anywhere in Asia or any other African countries, and you have been debited from your account, but the money is not coming out from the ATM. He has actually collected 4 different receipts, but the money is not coming out. Let's listen to him one more time.
This one, okay, 1,000. All these things are debits. Now, I said something yesterday. Some people, maybe to you people, it never reach you, but it will reach you soon. It will reach you soon. If you can speak up, because all of you know me very well. I'm not this type that comes out and start talking and Nigeria do this, country do this and that. It's none of my business, because if you talk, waiting they go do, they go do. This is 50. Look at this is 55,000 naira. This is 55,000. My money that I deposited in the bank. I have now to ATM. No, they pay again. App, no, they open again. If you since any of you when they use Access Bank, if they use Access Bank, one last, your app open. If your app open, one last you get debit alert or you get credit alert. You will send somebody money, the person no go see them, but they don't debit you. You don't go get debit alert, the person no go get credit alert. I am talking about Access Bank, the whole worst. What you will do to collect the money when you deposit for bank, you go see as an Imo State, crowd, this is crowd, people who won't collect money. Now everybody, people sneak out from their house to rush to nearby ATM just to get this cash. When they don't say this money no day, why the bad house say the old money will not be collect again? Because everybody now is not scared. Oh yeah, old money can come out. Yeah, but if not going to wait, that's it. If you say that we have to plan something, at least if they bring the old money, the bank will go to seize out. Then there is.
So why is it so difficult, for the federal government to understand the pain of Nigerians? Why is the government not really listening, to the masses? Again, if you've joined us, this is your finest African and Caribbean radio station in London.
This is Star Radio UK. This is Star Radio UK.
On your smartphone. Broadcasting worldwide, online 24/7.
If you've just joined us, we broadcast 24/7 on the Star Radio UK, and this is Niger Voices, the 8th of February 2023, coming up just about 6 minutes before 1900 hours. Once again,
broadcasting worldwide, online 24/7.
In your car, at home,
on your smartphone. The best radio show. The best radio show.
at home,
on your smartphone.
In your car, at home,
on your smartphone. Broadcasting worldwide, online 24/7.
we welcome you. For those of you that have joined us, welcome once again. Aki gbogbo èyí tí ẹ ti darapọ̀ mọ́ wa pé ẹ káàbọ̀ sórí ètò ti àṣálẹ́ tí a mọ̀ sí Star Radio UK. I still want to push one more audio, but again, let's listen to Mazin and the camera.
Don't allow we Biafrans to go. That zoological republic of Nigeria will be a worse place than Somalia, and today it is happening. And if you have not applied for your Somalian visa, please try and do so. Should I say Somali visa? Try and do so as quickly as possible because the zoo is on the path of destruction. There is nothing man can do to the process. Mark today's date, and I'm telling you, Nigeria will be destroyed beyond human comprehension.
Nigeria will be destroyed beyond human comprehension. That is Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. We again tell the federal government to release him. He's not a criminal. But again, this is what Dr. Olayomi said as well. And when we come now after this, we go straight to Turkey, where we are able to get a bit of clip that we're also going to hear the soundtrack of the atrocity that took place, where the earthquake has actually wiped away almost 6,000 homes. About 7,000 to 8,000 people have died between Turkey and Syria. And on behalf of the Star Radio UK, we are sending our condolences. Good evening to you, Mrs. Bridget Gagboma, and welcome. Good evening to those of you in Australia, in New Zealand. Good evening to those of you in Malaysia. And good evening to everyone that are joining us. Akibubomo Yoruba Lenkonsipwe said, Yoruba Nation is still a movement. Yoruba Nation will definitely come. And there's still a lot of work that will make it happen, the independence of the Yoruba Nation. And at the appropriate time, Professor Adebanji Akintoye will decide when is the best option and the best time and the appropriate time to declare a Yoruba Nation when it's actually going to happen. But for now, no country has actually, said that there's no more Nigeria. Nigeria is still operating. And if anybody is saying that we have a nation, like I said previously, there is no nation yet, but we are working towards having a Yoruba nation. So if anybody is saying that there's a Yoruba nation at the moment, you are just in an illusion state. Good evening, Dayo Salako. Welcome on board. Okay, I hope ìjọba tó létí ni, but this young Nigerian was also complaining, not able to access her money. She can't do no transaction, and we have seen many Nigerians now getting into the banking hall and stripping naked. I mean, to be honest, we cannot show those videos, but if you are not a Nigerian, you are probably another African. People are now stripping naked, completely naked, because they are crying that they can't have access to their money. But this particular young woman, she has not stripped naked, but let's hear what she has to say.
Once again, I came yesterday. These people held my money for how many days? Can't use less than any bank. And the miscellaneous accounts, they just cleared it and they don't want to answer me. I cannot recharge, I cannot withdraw, I cannot transfer, and their bank is closed since yesterday. They were closed on Monday, they are closed today, they were closed last week. For goodness sake, what kind of rubbish bank did I go and open an account with? Just look at the bank. So this is Lekki 2. This is Lekki 2 and they are closed. This is Lekki. Look at them. They are closed. You cannot access your own money that you put inside the bank. You cannot access this is Zenith Bank. Look at people are stranded. Look at everybody standing outside. People are stranded. Their own money cannot access it. See, this is the I don't know who sent me to be in Nigeria. Frustration.
Okay, she's actually saying that she does not know who sent her to be a Nigerian. I mean, it's not your fault. It's just that the system, the system that should have been able to support you is not actually. And we are living with people, that sleep with the cow. There's a video of a particular, Fulani man that is sleeping with the cow in a broad daylight. I know it's quite disgusting, but this video is on the social media, and I'm sure some of you must have come across it. These are the elements of people that we are living with. I'm telling you, somebody was sleeping with a cow, and he was not aware that they were recording him in a broad daylight. So this young woman, it's not your fault. At 1900 hours, before we open the phone line, frustration.
Your own money. It's not that Zenith Bank is on a salary account. I will not have account with Zenith because it's a salary account. That's why I went to open this useless bank. See me now. I can't access my account. And the miscellaneous account, I don't know if they cleared it. I don't know what happened, but I just cannot see any money on the account again. They're saying it's network issues. I shouldn't worry. Now the branch that is closest to me, those ones closed since 2 days. They are running. I don't know whether to laugh or cry or it's not tiring.
Well, I mean, she's been frustrated. She doesn't know whether to laugh or cry. And the line to get to speak to us. Fẹ́rẹ̀ tẹ́ bá fẹ́ pè lálẹ́ nọ́mbà tẹ́ máa pè sí òun ni +44 74 04 405917. Let's listen more to this young woman.
What kind of nonsense is this? Hey, God. Hey, who sent me to go and be in Nigeria? Maybe I could have just been in Tanzania.
Well, she could have preferred to be in Tanzania. According to her, she's asking God, why do you create me inside Nigeria?
Something. I went to go and be in Nigeria. If I did not say Brits, I didn't say American, I said Tanzania. I went to go and be in Nigeria.
She's saying that CMC problem. She's not even asking for more. She would have preferred to be known as a Tanzania rather than in Nigeria. Again, the studio number to call into the program tonight, if you're calling up from outside, is going to be +44 74 04 +44 +44 74 04 40 5917. That is the studio line, and that will bring you straight into the conversation with me tonight. Mo kí gbogbo alẹ́ nǹkan sí níbikíbi tí ẹ ti ń wò wá. Ẹ jẹ́ ká gbọ́ nǹkan tí arábìnrin yìí sọ lẹ́ǹkan sí.
I should not come and kill myself every day. I spend hours on the road, come back empty-handed. It's frustrating, really.
How many of you? And the next video is just those that were attacking the bank yesterday during the protest at Shakmo. The young boy that was shot by the Nigerian police did not die. Is actually receiving treatment, and we continue to tell the federal government to not shoot at protester, but rather deal with the current spark of situation that is frustrating and bringing the anger onto the street of Nigeria. So the next video that you're listening to is in Enugu, where the youth also rise up against the Naira scarcity. Okudi over, according to this video. So again, this is another video, I believe, again somewhere in the southeast, where these Nigerians break into the bank trying to get access to their money. And these are all happening with a wicked government of President Muhammadu Buhari that does not care and has sympathy. Moki Bugwala and Konsi, good evening to you. Asiri Ikoko, Eledumari. Oladimeji says any form of identification. Okay, so you're actually referring to Awantiwo Nigeria. So you can go to, with any form of identification to show before having it. I guess if I can remember, then registering, they never asked me and form of ID. So anybody would have gone to register. Muki Yawa Abby Williams, thank you so much for the love and also the support all the time. Yawa Abigail, Egbaleke, Eshegon, Ijoba Pharaoh, Ijoba Yishugbon, Ọlọ́run á gbà wá lọ́wọ́ wọn. Bẹ́ẹ̀ ni ìyá wa Ọlọ́run Elédùmarè á gbà wá lọ́wọ́ wọn, torí pé ìjọba Pharaoh òun la wà nínú ẹ̀. Gbogbo ẹni tó bá sì ń sọ pé ìjọba Buhari ìjọba dáadáa ni, á jẹ́ pé bí alára àwọn tó ń jẹ ìjẹkújẹ nínú ìjọba nìyẹn. This is our reporter all the way also working on behalf of Star Radio UK that gave us this reportage from the current situation of things from Turkey.
Never.
Türkiye'de olan depremden dolayı dünya olarak Türkiye'ye yardımlarını bekliyorum. Allah kabul etsin. İnsanlarımızın zor durumda olduğunu biliyorum. Allah kabul etsin yardımlarından dolayı. Teşekkür ederiz.
Rica ederim. Being donated by individuals, companies for the victim of the earthquake that happened in Turkey. As you can see, this is a different city entirely, and people are donating relief material. Blankets, duvet, winter jackets, shoes, and every other relief material you can think of. Moral support. The University of the city I am, yesterday the rector of the university sent some team of doctors who are already on ground. They were enlisted yesterday, and today, the 7th of February 2023, people are bringing relief material.
Well, that is our reporter all the way in Turkey, as we pray for the everyone that has been affected with this current situation in Turkey. Almost 8,000 lives have lost, but we pray for the for the Turkish government and all those. Also, Zelensky, the Ukraine Prime Minister, is currently here in UK meeting with Rishi Sunak, where they are going to be discussing a lot of issues on the other side as well. But tonight, it is still the finest African and Caribbean radio station in London.
This is Star Radio UK. This is Star Radio UK. In your car, at home,
on your smartphone. Broadcasting worldwide online 24/7. Broadcasting worldwide online 24/7.
in your car, at home,
on your smartphone.
So this is Star Radio UK. Now let us Najatu Mohammed. Najatu Mohammed is one time working with the APC, but she's been telling us something that has become the top of the conversation. For those that do not know her, Najatu, as you can see in the background there, she's the one on the left-hand side. She's actually a Nigerian politician. Her name is Najatu Bala Mohammed. She's a Nigerian politician. She's also member of the APC until she has now switched over to PDP. She's also Action Congress of Nigeria nominee for the Kano Central District in 2007. Nigerian general election. She's also one of the first women. She's 67 years old. She seems to understand the Nigerian politics, but she's now telling us that the only Kaaba that we have in Nigeria today is the wife of President Muhammadu Buhari. Najatu 2 days ago came out to tell us she's been speaking. She's been saying a lot of things, lately. She's been talking about, not just President Muhammadu Buhari that is not feeling very well. They brought him in 2015, they packaged him, and he ended up spending more time in London, and we saw that as well. Once again, if you've just joined us, this is your finest African and Caribbean radio station in London.
Broadcasting worldwide online 24/7. Broadcasting worldwide online 24/7.
We welcome you if you've just joined us for the very first time. This is Star Radio UK. My name is Olayomi Koiki, and I take you through, the situation of things. At the phone line, don't be scared. I know some of you sometimes, you might probably be like, I don't want to speak to, the studio, but the line is open, and we will take the call when it comes through as well. The engineer are working behind the scene. So, Najatu Mohammed, also fún wa nípa ìyàwó President Muhammadu Buhari. What do we know, and what has she been saying? Aisha Buhari, she's among the Aso Rock Kaaba, Najatu Mohammed. Where the Kaduna governor was silent on the identity of the Kaaba, Miss Mohammed fingered the First Lady as the part of the dreaded caucus. A lot of time we have been talking about Kaaba. It seems that the Kaaba are ghosts. Nobody knows them, nobody sees them. But now we have been able to get a clearer picture who is the Kaaba in Aso Rock. But before that, Let's hear from one of the video that Najatu Mohammed gave an interview with the mainstream media back in Nigeria.
She reinforced what El-Rufai said. She agreed with what El-Rufai said. El-Rufai said that the cabal in the villa, and she confirmed it. But what I'm saying is this: she is also part of the cabal. I am trained.
Okay, so a lot of people that are not from Nigeria, I'm sure you'll be hearing people will say, Nigerians will say, they are cabals. We have cabals. Cabals. I mean, cabals are the one holding the government. Cabals are not allowing the government to function. But we have now got a name and a picture that identify the real cabal in Aso Rock. And according to Najatu Mohammed, Aisha Buhari, the wife of the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, of Muhammadu Buhari, she's actually one of the cabal that is now trying to destroy the APC from inside. And guess what? Her brother is also the one that controls the minting of the Nigerian currency that we have been discussing in this program. We come to that in a few minutes.
Not to say they did this. We are trained to name names. You have to have the guts to tell Nigerians who this the cabal for. And I'll tell you why. One, if you look at, we are discussing the hardest thing for Nigerians now is the question of changing this money. People are in a very, very dire situation. Even I had to know how to mobilize to send my mother ingredients, tomato and pepper. It's terrible. I am stressed up. So think of the millions that have to work daily to feed. But what is happening? They are talking about the cabal, and they are talking about themselves. They are saying, what El-Rufai is saying is that why is changing money is okay, but why now for elections? So is it about elections, or is it about Nigerians that are suffering? And whose election? Their election. This is the point I'm trying to make. So when they are talking of the cabal, her brother, Aisha Buhari's brother, same mother, same father, is the DG now or MD of Native.
Okay, you heard that very well. Aisha Buhari, same brother, same father, is the DG of the Mint. For those that do not understand what the Mint is, Mint are the people that print money. So this money that we are talking about, this particular money, Aburo Aisha Buhari, Ìyàwó President Muhammadu Buhari, Omuni, the Director General of the Mint in Nigeria. I didn't say so. Najatu actually said so. Let's hear that part again.
Iris brother, same mother, same father, is the DG now or MD of.
Same mother, same father. Ọmọ ìyá kan náà, ọmọ bàbá kan náà, òun ni Aisha Buhari àtàbúrò ẹ̀. Àbúrò Aisha Buhari òun ló wà nídìí owó tí gbogbo wọn pariwo pé àrígbà. So that means pé Aisha Buhari ló instruct CBN Emefiele tí a mọ̀ sí olè Emefiele, because olè Emefiele tó pààrọ̀ owó mọ́ yín lọ́wọ́, Aisha Buhari ló máa give instruction. Nítorí pé we know that even if Buhari is the one that is there, even he himself agrees that he's double agent. But let's just assume that that is the president there, but we know that he's not in charge anymore. They've actually hijacked the government from him. And how do we know that? We know that because evidence are pointed so many times. And the next video that you're going to hear, the audio, will also buttress that. But let's finish listening to Najatu Mohammed. Once again, this is your finest African and Caribbean radio station in London. My name is Olayomi Koiki, and it's exactly 14 minutes past as we continue to review Nigeria as a whole.
Minted and printed. So what are they talking about? When you talk of Emefiele, central bank, the next thing you talk of is minted and printed.
Okay, so when you talk about Emefiele, ìyẹn olè central bank governor, is the one in charge of making sure that the policy of this is the old note. For some of you that probably are not Nigerian, this is what it used to look like before. The 200 Naira, the 500 Naira, and the 1,000 Naira, as you can see behind me. But we now have this man that is using his toothpick right there, decided that maybe we should color it, but somebody that was behind the whole structure, the cabal is Aisha Buhari, according to Najatu Muhammad? And let's hear more from her.
Same father is the head of printing and printing today in
So why do we see that the Yorubas that are saying that this country, I mean, how can we live in a country where the nepotism, I mean, how can Aisha Buhari's brother be in charge of the federal government of Nigeria maintenance services? That is the biggest and the highest nepotism that you can think of in the history of Nigeria. This particular government is as wicked, evil, monster, and has tortured a lot of Nigerians. Let's hear one more time from Mazin and the Kano again.
If you don't allow we Biafrans to go, that zoological republic called Nigeria will be a worse place than Somalia, and today it is happening. And if you have not applied for your Somalian visa, please try and do so. Should I say Somali visa? Try and do so as quickly as possible, because the zoo is on the path of destruction. There is nothing man can do to the process. Mark today's date and I'm telling you, Nigeria will be destroyed beyond human comprehension.
So we can now say that the Kaaba, the Aisha Buhari, the rest of the government are the one now destroying the Nigeria from inside. But there's also a man that has continuously talked about this particular government. But before that, this is another, we can't show you the video, but you can hear the sound. This woman, let me explain to you, I've taken off her whole top. She has the bra alone, and she was complaining about something about the currency. She's not getting access to her money. Let's hear from her in this particular soundtrack. This woman, an elderly woman, almost stripped naked in the bank. She has no top, she has just the bra. And she was saying in that clip, in a Yoruba voice, a close account to me, more. My children can't get access to the money that I can give them to take to school. Close my account and close my account. But somebody also was telling us something last year. He has a very big mega church in Nigeria. Is well respected in the Christian part of Nigeria today. He has network around the world. He's well known. And he was telling us something that baffles a lot of us, when he speaks. He actually told us that the money leaving Nigeria and is not coming back is in the millions and millions of pounds sterling and dollars, and yet an average Nigerian today is not getting 3 square meals. Let's hear from the leader of the Redeemed Christian Church of God. He's very well known, and when he speaks very straight to the government. And that is, Daddy Gio, as is known, Enoch Adejare Adeboye. He was born on the 2nd of March 1942. He's a Nigerian pastor and the general overseer of the Redeemed Christian Church of God. This is what he has to say sometime last year.
Where is the money going to? 80% of what should have been the income of a nation is going to the hand of some people. That's a lot of money, man. What do they want to do with the money? That's question number 3. Question number 4. Who are the foreign nations buying this stolen oil? Question number 5. How many of these nations of the world are your friends? So you can see the reason why I'm not thinking of 2023.
Maybe that's why God has not spoken to me about that, because these are not to deal with.
Well, he actually said that God have not spoken with him regarding, some of the atrocity and the reason why Nigerians are facing all this calamity. We don't know whether God has finally spoken to him, but what we do know that the latest video that has been released again, from the church service that we've heard about is something different. But before we play that, let's see these two Nigerians. I mean, we can't show you the video, but you can hear the tuffle. This was a fight going on in the church. I'm sorry, in the banking hall, as people are struggling to get access to the money in the bank. And again, we do not condone such fight, but when this happens, it is our job to bring and highlight it that these are Nigerians. Two adults were fighting inside the banking hall. We don't know why, but we believe because they cannot get access to their money. So all this has been going on in the last almost 10 days, but on Friday Nigerians will finally have no other option than to now have it in consideration that their money, that is the old note, will no longer be used, and I don't know how Nigerians will react. But let's go to Benue State and listen to the governor of Benue State, Governor Otom, also complaining that this government, the evil government, the monster government, the government that doesn't care about the masses, the government that does not even care, he has not been able to see the president in the last 4 years. Imagine being a governor of a state, and as other governors are having meeting with the president, they've not been able to have. Good evening to you, Sparkway, and welcome to the program, and good evening to every one of you that have joined us so far into this late night conversation. My name again is Olayomi Koiki, and I welcome you once again to the program. Let's go straight into the conversation one more time. This is Governor Otom speaking now.
If God were to allow me to curse you, I would say you are a cursed person, and God will deal with you.
So he's actually referring to Atiku. Governor Otom is saying that to hell with the presidential candidate of the PDP, Atiku Abubakar, I cannot be a slave to a Fulani man. This is actually coming from Governor Otom of Benue State.
Just this week, 18 people were killed from my local government. Innocent people, farmers. I went to teaching hospital. A young man, barely in his 20 years, his 2 eyes.
And a very shout out to Mr. Kitunde Theophilos, all the way in the United States of America. I'm not aware of that, Julia. Totally good evening to you, Dayo Salako, and the rest of those that have joined us from around the world. And this is the finest African and Caribbean radio station in London. Atiku, a Fulani man, I will never be a slave to a Fulani man over my dead body. That is the word from Governor Otom, the Benue State governor. Let's hear one more time.
My Fulani husband. And they sent him a message to tell me
a very good evening to you, Aketunde Odua.
That as long as I maintain the prohibition of progressive, they will continue to do this. Another man,
Mokiyawa Omolara Ajala Iyabo de Ekabo Soyeto, Moki Anoluapo Angela Oluwa Amama Jola Oluwa Banoni. You also said, and I quote Yawa Omolara, they are all heartless and wicked. Almighty God will judge every one of them because the suffer is too much. God will be with you, your family. Almighty will strengthen you. Olayomi, thank you so much, Ma.
It is a hospital. You can go there and see him. And you want me to be celebrating Fulani men? To hell with Atiku and any other Fulani man who says...
Okay, that is the word of, so should we now be concerned that if Atiku becomes the president, we will all be in danger as a Fulani man?
Any man supporting Atiku here and all that is an element.
Okay, so you also heard that if anybody support Atiku is also an enemy. Good evening to you, Temitope Olayomi. Good evening to you, Adeosun Jimo. And good evening to you, everyone that is quiet listener and do not comment. They do not call in, but they are watching and they're following the development of either Nigeria will hold or break, as we will be giving you again some of the latest update from the Biafra and also some of the updates that we have regarding the Yoruba nation in the next half an hour. This program comes to an end at exactly 8:30, but as we are continuing to review the impact of the Naira and the fuel scarcity on so many Nigerians tonight, being the 8th of February 2023 on Star Radio UK, the question is, are Nigerians really holding back? The NLC, the Nigerian Labour Congress, was actually speaking and saying the federal government is pushing Nigerians. Are they being pushed enough? Because I don't think they are being pushed enough. They are not reacting. Probably maybe they are coping. We saw a couple of protests in Akure today. We saw, I think, Lagos, there's tension building up. But I can hear that Babajide Sanwo-Olu is dropping the cost of transportation by 50% in Lagos. Probably maybe they are scared of the uproar that is going to happen in Lagos. INEC is saying that they are not sure that they will be able to conduct the election if the situation does not change. Should the situation might change before 25th of February, or do you think that the situation will get worse? What is your take on that? Keep your comment coming. Maybes or my bees, welcome on board. And to those of you on our MixLR, I say good evening to you. Go Dinner, House of Beauty, thank you so much and welcome once again. Let's go back again and listen to the governor of Benue State saying, whoever Nigerians should vote for Atiku, you are the enemy, because Atiku, a Fulani man, he would never, over his dead body, vote for him.
I want this to be known. As long as I'm governor, and they said my people tell me that, look, we draw from this. If you want to be slaves to the Fulani man, you can go there and be slaves. I can never be a slave. It's better I die. What are we talking about? More than 26 people were massacred about 3 weeks ago in Logo local government. That is where our senator comes from. He was there.
Maya was special, Yenuga. Thank you so much.
26 people. What else were missing? So we did not know. And in fact, after he visited, a pastor from one of my friend's church.
Once again, thank you so much. Let's leave that for now. Yes, thank you so much, Dr. Benjamin. I'm just also getting that, State of the Nation address is currently taking place. Simon Ekpa is doing that right now. We say if we can get, a transmission brought to us from where Simon Ekpa is speaking. If we get the signal, we will bring that in just about a few minutes. But for now, I would like to appreciate everyone that have joined us in this live transmission that is currently going on. Nigeria is really going through a lot as we speak, and I believe, let's say, I guess if we might be able to get the signal from Biafra Voice 247 TV. Let's see. Let's go straight and listen to Simon Ekpa that is currently speaking right now on the State of the Nation address, and that we're going to be crossing over quickly. Let's listen.
International media interview I granted today lasted for about 4 to 5 hours, and it is indeed the groundbreaking interview, which is going to be on media in few days' time. I will not announce the media house at this point, but I want everybody to wait until you are going to watch that particular interview in the media. It's very, very important. We are going to stream it once it is out. But the interview was very successful, and those who care to interview me now understand Nigeria better. They also understand the Biafran state better. And going forward, they will be pushing for the interest of those who have fallen victim of this evil entity. And that is a promise that I'm giving Biafra today, and it's a success that we have recorded. So I will wait for that particular interview to speak for itself. I want to inform Biafra again that effectively
So right now we are listening to the State of the Nation address by Simon Ekpa, the spokesman for the Biafra. Let's hear a little bit more from them.
For freedom. I want to tell you today that no matter how you are being challenged, threatened by the Nigerian state, we must stand on our ground and make this particular legitimate demand that the only election that will be allowed in Biafra territory will be the referendum. It's going to be only the referendum. Now, in order to achieve this, the Nigeria experience with election boycott since 1964 tell the same story of what is happening today, but they have been history and Jews went to Jew to go to school and learn this history in school. I want to inform you today, my people, we have the moral and the religious obligation to make these sacrifices that we are making. And if you are part of this sacrifice, you are making history. For our future generation, please blame us for the inability and our inactions. That we are standing under a shade today is possible only because somebody somewhere did something. Where I am today, people die for this particular freedom, and I am doing the same thing for my people. I want you to understand that for us to achieve this particular no election in Biafra territory, there are measures that we have put in place. And those measures is the most important aspect of this particular State of the Nation address today, which I want Biafrans to listen to. But before I do that, I would like to recommend and thank and appreciate few individuals for the very first time during this Biafra State of the Nation press briefing. I am going to recognize individuals. And these individuals are no other people than one. I would like to appreciate Ike Dakimo for his persistent calling on the release of Martin Amikan. I want to commend him and I want to tell him to stay very strong. We know that the Imo State Governor, the administrator of Fulani, has been on his neck, trying everything and every means possible to assassinate him. He will not succeed. He will not succeed, even though Ike Dakimo is running for election in Nigeria that is not taking place. But for the fact that he has deemed it fit to fight for the release of Martin Amikan and recognizing him is indeed and appreciate courage. And the result next to him, he has called for the release of Martin Amikan not once, not twice. The next person is Soludo of Anambra State. Irrespective of our differences, irrespective of our opinions and all that, Soludo, I have to commend you this evening for two issues that you have done. Two things. One is calling for the release of Martin Amikan. Two is that you remove the taxation, that the inhuman taxation that you impose on Anambra people. I commend you for that particular, because I call on you to retrace your step of this taxation, and you listen to that, and today you have removed the taxation imposed on Anambra.
Once again, that is still Simon Ekpa. We will listen a little bit more before we go back into Niger Voices as we continue to review things happening this evening.
Check anything in Anambra State. There is no hospital, there is no road, there is no security, and the name is endless. And then the third person is Reverend Father Mbaka. I have to commend Father Mbaka for also calling for the release of Martin Amikan, and he continues to call for that even when he is under threat. So Father Mbaka, Biafra people say I should tell you that we appreciate you and thank you, and Lord will continue to give you the courage and the power to always speak for those who are voiceless. Now, in order to actualize the no election in Biafra land and restore Biafra, I want Biafrans to pay attention to this particular special announcement. Very, very important. Very, very important. In order to implement the stop of Nigerian election in Biafra land, the Biafra people have decided that we are going to implement the following mechanisms. One, what have On the 23rd day of February 2023, there will be sit at home. 2. On the 24th day of February 2023, there will be lockdown in entire Biafra territory. 3. On the 25th day of February 2023, Biafra land will be under lock and key. On the 26th of February 2023, Biafra land will be sealed and will be under lock and key. There will be no movement of chicken. On the 27th of February 2023, Biafra land will be under total lock and key. On the 28th of February 2023, Biafra land will be under lock and key. And I want Biafrans to understand that this particular date and days is still subject to review. The review in the sense that the sit at home may be called off at any point in time. In addition to the aforementioned date, there will be imposition of curfew in 2 of those days. And I want people to pay attention attentively. On the 24th and on the 25th of February 2023, in addition to sit at home, there will be 6 to 6 curfew in certain areas. And listen and pay attention to those areas that this curfew will be affected. There will be an imposition of curfew in the following areas. All federal roads leading to Ebonyi, Enugu, and Imo State. And I want everybody to understand that this particular curfew, which is going to be on the 24th, in addition to sit at home, and on the 25th, in addition to sit at home, will be implemented in terms.
Once again, we're still joining the State of the Nation broadcast on Simon Ekpa, the spokesman of the Biafra. And let's go back again. This is Star Radio UK, your finest African and Caribbean radio station in London.
Okibwe will observe, in addition to sit at home, a coffee. Already in Imo State province, will observe curfew from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. in addition to sit at home. Oyo will observe curfew from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. on the 24th and on the 25th. Abakaliki in Ebonyi province will observe the curfew in addition to the sit at home. Enugu metropolis will observe this curfew in addition to the sit at home. This curfew is on the 24th and on the 25th of February 2023. I want the others to understand that on these days mentioned, it will be an open war between Biafra and Nigeria, because we are fighting to protect our life, our property, our villages, our culture and value. So everybody who Nigeria government said to come and fight Biafra, we will engage you. Let this particular announcement go very viral for everybody to know that on the 24th and on the 25th of February 2023, in addition to sit at home on these days, we are having curfew in Imo State, mostly in Imo State. This curfew will be in Okibwe, Owerri, Oru, Abakaliki, Enugu metropolis. Anybody who the Nigerian government want to use to blackmail Biafra, you will not be there to tell the story, because we know what they do to people who disobey this, because they know that this order is always something that really pinches their skin, and we are going to use it on until Biafra gets in Nigeria. We want you to understand that the current jihad, financial jihad going on in Nigeria, trying to cripple everything we do in Biafra land will be over. We will schedule it and Biafra people will survive it. I want to also announce the promises where this election will be backed. Abakaliki, will be no election in Abakaliki province, Biafra. There will be no election in Afikpo. There will be no election in Ojiriva. There will be no election in Enugu. There will be no election in Nsukka. There will be no election in Owerri. There will be no election in Oru. There will be no election in Okiwe. There will be no election in Aba. There will be no election in Umuahia. There will be no election in Nnewi. There will be no election in Onitsha. There will be no election in Awka. There will be no election in Akko. There will be no election in Warri. There will be no election in Ueli. There will be no election in Asaba, which is Aroa in Biafra. There will be no election in Lekwa. There will be no election in Aruga. There will be no election in Deja. There will be no election in Ikwacha. There will be no election in Calabar. There will be no election in Ogoja. There will be no election in Eket. There will be no election in Uyo. There will be no election in Kosebele. There will be no election in Taran. There will be no election in Aruchi. There will be no election in Benin. There will be no election in Ikola. There will be no election in Igala. All these places, 31 provinces of Biafra, there will be no Nigeria election on 25th day of February 2023. I want to thank Biafrans today who have struggled to join this State of the Nation briefing and make sure that this announcement that I pass here spread very wide and goes viral for every Biafran to follow. We have many days ahead of us to make sure that this information goes viral. In addition to this, remember that from the 15th of February 2023, Nigeria will go under very, very serious chaotic situation because we have all the intel of what most of those people trying to, cause confusion in the Biafra struggle are planning to do. So we call on all Biafrans all over Nigeria, wherever you find yourself, to be very, very careful and very vigilant that from the 15th day of this month, there is a planned, a planned crisis against Biafra, especially against Ndigo. So if you are in Lagos, if you are in other parts of the north, you have to be very, very careful. We are monitoring the situation and those who are sponsoring this thing. And we are going to always bring the intel to you and the information as they come. And I believe that it will be curtailed before then. So we call on Biafrans outside Biafra land, not just in Lagos or anywhere, but if you find yourself outside Biafra land, in other parts of Nigeria, we call you to be very, very security conscious, starting from the 15th day of this month. Very important. This particular one is very important. I thank you all, and I want to also make it very clear that the Biafra government have activated some departments. The department as follows. The Biafra government in exile have activated the following department. Have activated the media and communication department of the Biafra government. We have also activated the transportation department of the Biafra government. We have as well activated the oil and gas department of the Biafra government. We have also activated the building, the architect of Biafra government, those who make decision on the building and construction of the Biafra department. This department has been activated and they are working tirelessly to bring something that what Biafra is going to look like. So we thank them and those who are coordinating this particular department, we thank them and we urge them to bring in their best and experience to serve the today is the release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. We continue to demand for the unconditional release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Once Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is released, between now and the 15th of this month, we are going to consider this sit at home and the new arrangement will be put in place. This arrangement will favor whoever that has been against our sit at home, and the previous and other sit at home will be called off and cancelled immediately. And this is a message directly to the Nigeria Fulani Caliphate, who think they own Nigeria and own the law and own everybody. If you release Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, the days of this sit at home will be reconsidered, and we are going to give sit at home. And this is a condition that we have reached, and this condition is final. Anything less than that, when Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is inside the dungeon, believe me, we will face you if you come to force election into our land, and the days is already very close, and we are waiting for you. I want to thank you and thank entire Biafra people for their support, their prayers, and everything they have done to make this struggle a success. We have achieved many things that, if we start mentioning it, to be mind-blowing to the Biafra people. And I want to assure you that we are now 25 days to Biafra. This will come. You will sleep in Nigeria and wake up in Biafra. May God bless you and may God bless Biafra. From here, from me, it is good evening. Salutes to the Biafra Liberation Army.
And that is and let's come back to the conversation here. We've been listening carefully to Simon Ekpa, the spokesperson for the Biafra, and I'm going to recap some of what he has actually said in that almost 25 minutes or thereabouts. We joined because we were notified quickly by one of our listeners there as well. Thank you so much, Dr. Benjamin. Now, let us come back to the conversation around the election that is being planned by the federal government of Nigeria. The Yorubas are saying that an election in Yoruba land is not the solution. Nigeria needs to come into a dialogue, with the Yoruba people so that we can decide whether we still want to be part of Nigeria. But the Nigerian government disagree with that, because the reason for that, I will remind you again, because this letter that was sent to President Muhammadu Buhari in August last year by Professor Adebanji Akintoye, the leader and the chairman of the Yoruba Self-Determination Movement, where the government refused, to listen to the Yoruba people plight and ask why they want to remain in Nigeria or not. I mean, it is not a must that we should remain together, but the federal government disagree with that. So let me just quickly recap that letter, and then we will go into the conversation. Good evening to you, Mace Good. I fẹ́ to review letter tí a kọ sí President Muhammadu Buhari. Simon Ekpa have just spoken in the last 20 minutes that we joined them. And then we'd like to also continue from Star Radio UK to review everything that we need to know regarding the Yoruba nation struggle as well. Where are we? A lot of people have been asking where we are. But next week, God's willing, we would have a guest that would be able to give us a kind of a review of so much of what we have done. We would have a guest there in the studio, and we can discuss and talk about the long-awaiting struggle that has been going on since 2019. Good evening again to my beautiful mother. So this letter that was sent to President Muhammadu Buhari did not get any reply, and that literally means that the government is not ready to back down. The government is not ready to have any kind of discussion, with the Yoruba people, likewise with the Biafra, which we know that Nnamdi Kanu is still being held in the custody of the government. Let's again hear this quickly.
This is Star Radio UK. This is Star Radio UK. Here you come. At home.
On your smartphone. Broadcasting worldwide, online 24/7. Broadcasting worldwide, online 24/7.
Here you come. At home.
On your smartphone. The best radio show. The best radio show.
The morning show.
The best radio show. Broadcasting worldwide, online 24/7.
And that is, Star Radio UK. So this letter, again, is a review of the discussion, that we've done so many times. Mukov, a reminder, good evening to you, Monica, Adam, and welcome to those of you that are also watching quietly, but you're not commenting, but you're following this fact of things. It's just under how many days now before the 2023? That is if an election is going to hold in Biafra land, if an election is going to hold as well in the Yoruba territory. As of today, it is now 16 days, 15 hours, 7 minutes, and the seconds keeps dropping before the 25th. Even INEC is not now guaranteed. INEC cannot guarantee an election because of this pact of situation in Nigeria, the currency, the fuel scarcity. March 11, which is now 30 days, 15 hours before the governorship election as well. She election might hold is the question on the lips of so many Yoruba people as well. Gabriel Duro Jaye Ekabo Sorieto Bukile and Konsiyawa Abe. Peter Dino Sam, thank you so much. Joshua Solomon said Nigeria have died for so long. Keep your comment coming. I'll be reading them out as well. And I say thank you so much to those of you that are watching us on all the platforms across board this evening. Olayomi Koiki. So let's quickly review that letter one more time. Mr. President, the Yoruba Self-Determination Movement now serves you a notice of decision of the Yoruba people to assert their right to self-determination, which right of self-determination is inalienable and unquestionable right of every indigenous nation in the world, and which right is enriched in many international instruments that provide for the system of order of the modern world. Upon asserting this right of self-determination, we, Yoruba nation, shall be free to determine our political status, pursue our economic and social and cultural development according to policies chosen independently by us, and to live under the government and independently chosen an order by us. In short, in the light of the worsened and painful plight of our Yoruba people in Nigeria, an overwhelming majority of the coalition of Yoruba social cultural community and non-governmental organizations have resolved to pursue self-determination for a sovereign Yoruba nation. In further resolve to pursue self-determination for a sovereign Yoruba nation, in further pursuit of the decision over 5 million of our Yoruba adult population have also within the short time signed the petition to affirm without evocation in their support for creating an independent Yoruba nation state. Consequently, Mr. President, this letter on behalf of all our Yoruba people, number one, formally gives you the notice of the decision of the overwhelmed majority of our Yoruba nation and people to exercise our right to self-determination, to have our independent and sovereign country separate from the country of Nigeria. Number two, formally informs you that we desire to commence this process of self-determination officially and sovereign country separate from the country of Nigeria. Formally informs you that we desire to commence this process of self-determination officially so as to establish our independent and sovereign country as soon as possible, hopefully in a constructive dialogue with the government of Nigeria. I want us to look at that word dialogue. Inje Nigeria, good evening to you, Rahim Abbas. Inje Federal Government of Nigeria, good evening to you, Egbon Ashegun Ono, Yoruba Sovereign Nation, Lafe. I'm asking a lot of Yoruba people now, Prince Adebayo Shitu, Ekabo Surieto, Moki gbogbo ẹ̀yin tí ẹ ti darapọ̀ mọ́ wa káàkiri gbogbo orí platforms wa. Ǹjẹ́ Federal Government of Nigeria, ǹjẹ́ wọ́n lè gbà kí ìran Yorùbá kó kúrò nínú Nigeria with dialogue? Can the Federal Government of Nigeria have a sitting dialogue with the Biafrans, the Yorubas, and the Middle Belt that are clamoring the right to self-determination? And that way, we can now say that we are now going to see a situation where humanity, catastrophe might occur. Because if the federal government is still using Olori Kunkun adamant, we dialogue, then that is going to force what the Biafra are now saying, that apart from not releasing Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, let me remind you what Simon Ekpa just said in the last 20 minutes in the State of the Nation broadcast. On the 23rd, which is 2 days before the federal government election, the whole Biafra land is going to now go into sit at home. On the 24th of February, a day before the presidential election, there will be sit at home. The argument is going to have any impact. But yes, we do know that even the state governor in the southeast part of the Biafra land have actually moved part of what they do on Monday to Saturday. Yawarukaya says Nigerian government is hard-headed. So that means the Nigerian government is not going to allow the election to be cancelled in terms of having a negotiation with the Yoruba people and the Biafra. Does that then mean that there will be a confrontation between the Yoruba and the federal government? Does that mean that there will be confrontation between the federal government and the Biafra? David Funshaw, good evening to you, says no 2023 election. Dennis Dayo, thank you so much. Àwa yóò gba orílẹ̀-èdè Yorùbá wa láìpẹ́ jọjọ lágbára Ọlọ́run. Thank you so much. Abayomi Olugbode, God bless Yoruba Nation, you said. Dennis, you also went on and said Yoruba Nation is a reality and the solution. Dennis, thank you so much. And to hell with Nigeria election, Oyedapo, you said so. And also, you sent a lot. Prince Adekunle, Yoruba Nation must stand surely. John Sheye, Yetunde, Duwole, and the rest of you that have joined, a very good evening. Ekabo Sorieto, Iyawa Kemi, Osikanlu. I hope I didn't massacre that Yoruba word. So, in Timofemo, in the federal government of Nigeria, and I send greetings to all our Yorubas that are working on the NHS staff here and those that are working in other part of the globe, helping the medical system, those working in the private sector, all our bus drivers, those that are working the public sector, those working around the world that are doing very well. But in Nigeria, those that wanted to do well are not allowed as well. She Nigeria ma allow dialogue, because under this letter that was sent, it says, and I quote, that hopefully we can have a constructive dialogue with the federal government of Nigeria. Let's go further. The Yoruba Self-Determination Movement is committed to a peaceful approach to achieving our objectives through negotiation with the government of Nigeria. Do you think that the federal government, the Biafra, remember that on the 23rd, the 24th, the 25th, there will be a total lockdown of the Biafra land. And on the 26th, it's going to be sealed and lock and key. On the 27th, the same thing, and on the 28th. But all these are subject to review. That is if the federal government is going to release Mazi Nnamdi Kanu that has been acquitted and discharged by the court. But the government is still adamant. Also, some of the states would also go into curfew from 6 p.m. to 8 a.m. in Olu, Abakaliki, Enugu. But there was something that he mentioned that I want us, the Yoruba people, to take note of. Simon Ekpa sọ fún wa pé ní on the 15th, which is just about 7 days from today, the government of Nigeria is planning to create more crises from the north and Lagos State. This is a very, very highly intelligent that we must not use our right hand to eat. Ẹ jẹ́ ká tọ́jú ẹ̀ pamọ́ dáadáa. Ẹ jẹ́ ká rántí on the 15th that the government is planning, the crisis. And we are already seeing the crisis. Ekabo Babawa Alaji Odeshola Abdul Wasil Benjamin, good evening to you. Government is planning, as they have used the Naira to bring, problem into Nigeria in the last 10 days. Dr. Benjamin, thank you so much. Judging from what is going on right now in the East, and seriously don't think Biafrans are joking or will allow Nigeria to bring any election. I love Simon Ekpa energy. So, Kila Sonikwe, government of Nigeria refused this correspondence, the engagement between the leaders of the Yoruba nation struggle. When we sent the letter in August, there was not even a confirmation that the letter was released, was received. So I am now asking every Yoruba tonight, say federal government now was sórí round table láti discuss ọ̀rọ̀ Yoruba nation. So let's go further. The Yoruba self-determination movement is committed to a peaceful approach to achieving our objectives through negotiation with the government. Thank you so much, Samuel, Tosin Taiwo, Solomon, good evening and welcome, and good evening to you, Babawa Babatunde Isaac. We hope this process will lead to the establishment of a sovereign Yoruba nation expeditiously and lead to a mutually agreed and peacefully outcome. Ṣé federal government might allow that we go into a negotiation where the Yoruba people, because let us remember that we have Yoruba politicians that do not also want Nigeria to break. So the Yoruba politicians are part of those enjoying what Nigeria will call the part of the crime scene that we are witnessing today. So if we are saying that Nigeria more, are we also looking at the situation that the Yoruba people are the one encouraging election to go ahead? They want election to go ahead because they believe that the election process of every 4 years, because Akeredolu as an example is saying that it is only Tinubu that can make things work in Nigeria, even though Atiku is saying that it can change things around. Likewise, Peter Obi, Mukin Yawa, Wumi Daniel, Yoruba nation no going back is what you say. Sulaiman Musilio, and the ghosts that are watching us in another part of Nigeria, what is your take on these? The Biafrans that you don't like say they don't want to be part of Nigeria. You have actually told us that the infidel should not be voted for, which you have classified Peter Obi as an infidel. So those watching me in the northern part of Nigeria or in the middle belt of Nigeria, the northwest, what is your take on that? Do you think that the Yoruba people should be allowed to leave Nigeria, and likewise, the Biafra people? The middle belt, what is your take on the Nigeria of today? Because most of those that should be speaking out are not literally speaking out, and we are not sure why. Even the Afenifere that have endorsed Peter Obi believe that the North is not going to give the power to Peter Obi. Then why the endorsement of Peter Obi, and why not just endorse the Yoruba nation, and we all encourage each other, work together, and then force the government into a dialogue, into a roundtable to negotiate a peaceful exit of the Yoruba people. But if Afenifere is saying that the North is not going to give the power, why then endorse Peter Obi? You can see that there is a lot of danger. We didn't even have time to play any music. You can see that the seriousness of this election, no election, the Yoruba people, the Biafra people, the Middle Belt people, and those that do not want to be part of Nigeria and do not want to even be identified as Nigerians, you can see that it is a very, very serious situation in the next 16 and a half days. My question is, are we at the crossroad? Are we seeing another country falling apart like Nigeria? Let's go back into the conversation. Mr. President, we Yoruba have taken our time to consider various options available to us as a civilized people in today's civilized world. We have arrived at the most reasonable conclusion and the most sustainable option in the best interest of our people. Do the Yoruba politician agree with this view? Ǹjẹ́ àwọn Yoruba politician, good evening to you, Gabriel Olasoji. Ǹjẹ́ àwọn Yoruba politician, ǹjẹ́ àwọn náà agree pé bí nǹkan ṣe ń lọ lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ yìí kò tẹ́ wa lọ́rùn? Ìtàdé lè ṣe ni pé kólúkálukú dá wà gẹ́gẹ́ bí orílẹ̀-èdè kan. Ọlátúnjí Òkúnlọ́wọ̀, ẹ káàbọ̀ sórí ètò bàbá wa. Àbí bí a ti ṣe ń bá lọ ní ọdún mẹ́rin ta ló ń ṣe election, Ọmọbọ́lájí Abdullahi, welcome on board. Ẹ má bínú for the network if it's going into in and out. Bear with us tonight. So ìbéèrè tá à ń béèrè lálẹ́ yìí òun ni pé, can we really keep Nigeria in the next 17 days? If the government is adamant that in the interest of the Yoruba people, they should come into a roundtable conversation. Ǹjẹ́ federal government máa wá láti wá bá wa sọ̀rọ̀ when Sanwo-Olu wants to continue to remain the governor of Lagos State, when Dapo Abiodun wants to remain the governor of Ogun State, when Seyi Makinde wants to recontest and become the governor of Oyo State? Are we sure that we are going to get exactly what we want and demand from federal government of Nigeria? Is Nigeria now at the final part of breakup? Or is Nigeria going to survive this? Ṣé Nigeria máa survive ẹ̀ àbí kò ní survive ẹ̀ is the question that some of us are also asking. My name is Olayomi Koiki, and this is your finest African and Caribbean radio station in London, and I welcome those of you that have joined us from around the globe. As we continue to say, Nigeria is going through a very, very turbulent time. It's like the Titanic that is sinking, but is still trying to survive. Is Nigeria going to survive, or is Nigeria really going to break up? Let's quickly, take this short advert from the Ilana Omodua, the U.S. chapter, into the conversation tonight.
Yorùbá nation ṣe bèrè ó kéde ara rẹ̀. Yorùbá nation rí ó dúró nàtán. Yorùbá nation ó dúró gédégbé làwa wà. Ó dúró gbáǹkéké, ó dúró gbáǹkọ́gbì bí ọ̀gá ọ̀rọ̀ yàn káàkiri nílẹ̀ Amẹ́ríkà. Ìlú tí a tẹ̀dó sí orókè Oòduà. Onílà Yorùbá kò lè farasin. Yorùbá nation ti dúró nàtán fáyé rí ní USA. Ló bá tán ẹgbẹ́ ìlànà Oòduà lábẹ́ olùdarí ọ̀jọ̀gbọ́n àgbà Bánjí Akíntóyè ẹ̀ka ti USA lábẹ́ ìṣàkóso Barrister Adékúnjọ ń lọ bí akéde Yorùbá nation yìí kalẹ̀ kàǹkà. Àgbájọ ọwọ́ là fi sọ̀yà o, àjèjì ọwọ́ kan ò gbẹ́rù lórí kárìn kápọ̀ yíyani. Gbogbo ọmọ Oòduà nílẹ̀ Amẹ́ríkà àti lágbàáyé ńlá pè láti darapọ̀ mẹ́gbẹ́ wa yìí ní www.ilanausa.org tàbí kí a pè wá sí 202-210-3251. Yorùbá nation kéde ara rẹ̀ fáyé rí ojú tẹlẹ́gàn. Yorùbá nation is calling. Sons and daughters of Yoruba land and citizens of the world, behold, The Yoruba nation has come to stay. The billboard is magnificent. It is beautiful. It is second to none. It is historic. Sons and daughters of Oduduwa land. This is a clarion call for you to be part of history. Make haste and join Ilana Oma Odua USA at www.ilanousa.org. Today, as tomorrow may be too late, Yoruba Nation is second to none. Call us today at 202-210-3251. Yoruba Nation.
Well, that is the U.S. Charter of the Illinois, U.S. and also under the Yoruba world leader as well. Aziz Ahmed, good evening to you. Anna Ogunjobe, Ekabosure to Yawa. Wahab, good evening. Moses Folorenshaw, good evening. David Funshaw, you say, they will not sit in round table, but God will surprise us. Let's go back. So in the interest, Baba Akintoye was telling the president, we the Yoruba have taken our time to consider various options available to us as a civilized people in today's civilized world. We have arrived at the most reasonable conclusion and the most sustainable option in the best interest of our people. Throughout the past 62 years of independence of Nigeria, we Yoruba, having attained to a considerable higher level of modern education and other modern development than all other black African nations before the coming of the European colonialism and the amalgamation of hundreds of peoples to form the country of Nigeria, have patriotically, consistently made positive efforts to impact the lives of other nationalities in Nigeria. With our high standard. However, our efforts have not yielded any much of good result for our people or for the other different ethnic nations, owing to serious divergence in cultural and value orientations, amounting to a clash of cultures. This was part of the letter that Professor Adebanji Akintoye was putting to the federal government of Nigeria, asking that is it not in the best interest of everybody that the Yoruba people be allowed to come into a roundtable conversation with the federal government so that we can dissolve Nigeria. But I don't think that the federal government would like to do so. Remember that both Professor Adebanji Akintoye and likewise Chief Sunday Adeyemo, popularly known as Sunday Igboho, or Dr. Oloye Sunday Igboho, has consistently asked the federal government to allow the Yoruba people to make decision to say whether we want to remain in Nigeria or not. We are just about 15 minutes. James, good evening to you and the rest of those that have joined us tonight. We appreciate you, Alaja Sherifa Agbabiaka, Yoruba Nation of Going Back. Kingsley Odumegu, thank you for joining us on the Star Radio UK. Aketunde Odua, welcome to the program. 15 more minutes and we're going to be winding down very, very soon. But before we wind down, I am asking the question again. Will the federal government allow the negotiation of the Yoruba people out of Nigeria peacefully, where the Biafra make the decision to go, where the Middle Belt are allowed to go? Or are they going to force an election on Nigerians? We are also reviewing, as I take you through, the last video, which is an audio that we received from those complaining about having access to the currency that has been changed, and having huge impact in the lives of millions of Nigerians today. But before then, let's again listen to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu saying that should Nigeria continue the way it is, it will be worse than Somalia.
If you don't allow we Biafrans to go, God's zoological republic of Nigeria will be a worse place than Somalia, and today it is happening. And if you have not applied for your Somalian visa, please try and do so. If that's a Somali visa, try and do so as quickly as possible, because the zoo is on the path of destruction. There is nothing man can do to reverse it. Mark today's date, and I'm telling you, Nigeria will be destroyed beyond human comprehension.
That is, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu saying that Nigeria will be destroyed, by the same government. As we can see, that the impact of Nigerians not having access to the money is now pushing out into the street of Lagos, in the southeast, in the middle belt. Roads are being blocked every day. We don't know how Nigerians will react, but what we can say is even in 17 days, the government is still not ready to negotiate with any of the agitations of the right to self-determination that is currently going on. And as we speak right now, Ajero has now emerged. There's now also a new Nigerian Labour Congress president. Is he going to have the balls to ask for Nigerians to come out and shut down Nigeria because of the current spark of things? Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and Dr. Oloye Sunday Igboho are not the criminals that is destroying Nigeria. It is the same government that is destroying Nigeria, making things harder for Nigeria. Let's hear one more time what Oloye Dr. Sunday Igboho said some few months back. Thank you, Ezekiel Oluwatobi. So that is Oloye Dr. Sunday Igboho, and as I say, we now have a new NLC. Is called the Nigeria Labour Congress president, and they are giving President Muhammadu Buhari 2 weeks, 2 more weeks to avoid an industrial action. So if we calculate 2 weeks from today, according to our calendar, today being the 8th day of February 2023, the NLC new president is now telling President Muhammadu Buhari, from the news coming from the news agency of Nigeria, Ajero has emerged. The new NLC president is now asking President Muhammadu Buhari regime to end the fuel scarcity in 2 weeks. Do you think that is going to be possible? Joe Ajero has been anonymously elected as the president of the Nigeria Labour Congress, NLC. He was sworn in today, Wednesday, alongside 15 other executives to lead and organize labor for the next 4 years. What an interesting time to be alive in Nigeria. Is this new NLC president would have the guts, the balls, to tell the Nigerian government the way it is? Or is he also going to be like the puppet one that is leaving, that could not hold the government responsible for pushing Nigeria into the war? We don't know yet, but his first task will be known in the next 2 weeks, according to him. So if we monitor the next 2 weeks, so by the 22nd, which is 2 weeks from today, according to what the NLC is saying. So 2 weeks from today, we should expect an industrial strike should things not change, according to the Nigerian Labour Congress. So 2 weeks from today, 2 weeks will be the 22nd of February 2023, the new NLC president, known as Joe Ajero, has asked that the federal government of Nigeria look into the fuel crisis, the money scarcity, and bring situation under control. And if it does not do so, that would literally mean that there will be an industrial strike in Nigeria. Do you think that that is going to happen? I do not know, and I'm not too sure, because what we have seen in the past is that the previous NLC president will call for a strike, but will eventually not allow such to happen. Let's just take one more call into the program before we go. And I say good evening and welcome to Star Radio UK Niger Voices. And let's hear your view quickly, because we're just out of time in just about 9 minutes. Hello, good evening and welcome to the program.
Good evening. We're doing nation now. We're doing nation. We're going back. Sorry about my voice. I'll try and speak loud, but the weather is really giving me headaches. So, see, my own question is that when are we going to have our own seat at home? When are we going to be calling our own shots? Because, you know, Koiki, you're fond of coming to give us the update about Biafra, about what they are doing. You know, I'm telling you, they're civilized people. I don't think we Yoruba are civilized though. Because if we're civilized, we should be having sit at home. We should be having all those things, all those outlines. Those are called contents. It's only Biafra that have contents. In fact, everything that has been going on so far, it's only Biafra that can say they have contents. Others, we Yorubas, we're still joking, or we're still sleeping, we're sleepers. Right. Because it's like we're trying to save Nigeria. If I'll be calling spade. We're trying to save Nigeria, and Yorubas that are listening to do. That's what our leaders are trying to do.
Okay. I've got your message. The Biafra struggle is different from the Yoruba struggle, and the reason why it's different is hold on. You know, I don't want you to argue because the reason why I said so is you have actually says, you know, we are not getting any update, and that is a complete total lie. There's an update. And the update is we're still in the struggle and we have to wait for further instruction. Biafra alliance with us, we have to give an update from what the Biafra are doing, and we're also continuously giving updates. Hold on. If you listen to Professor Adebanjo, I'm not going to argue with you, and I'm done. We haven't got the time anyway because we've got 6 minutes. So what I'm trying to explain to you is we have been told continuously that there will be more information that will come out. Those information might not be out yet, but as we say, every day, all the medias are coming out and still telling the Yoruba people reason why we should not have an election, because election is not the way forward. So there's no way you can say you've not been hearing that. If you have not been hearing that, you are probably behind schedule. So again, I'm going to let you go because you know, I can tell that, you know, these are individuals that probably, you know, want to use, you know, this is not, you know, the occupation platform that, you know, maybe you have been part of those listening to such illusion. We are not in that illusion. We are on reality here. Also, if you are still thinking that the Yoruba people will be sitting at home because the Biafra are sitting at home, that is not what we have been told, that we are going to be sitting at home. What we have been told continuously, coming on December 17th, is that the Yoruba people will be coming out for a protest, and that protest has continued even into Lagos on the January night when somebody was killed. So that is now taking us back to a round table where they are reviewing a lot of things before we'll be coming out with further information. So the idea that because we are talking about the update, remember that we have an alliance with the Biafra. So if the Biafra has anything to say, it is also in the best interest of the Yoruba people to bring that into conversation. The reason why the Yoruba media are coming out every day to educate everyone is to say that the Yoruba people are going just as the Biafra are going. So if anybody is coming to say, that we don't know what is going on in the Yoruba nation struggle, there's no update, nothing is happening, that is a complete false information. The last time I believe Professor Adebanji Akintoye spoke was just less than a week and a half ago, and he spoke fluently. He spoke to give us exactly that even in the midst of fire, we must get into that fire, take out the burning part, remove it so that we can get to the next part. So, but what people want is, they want the Yoruba people, to sit at home. Nobody has asked us to sit at home. The Biafras, struggle, sitting at home is different. We are saying protest. The Biafra are not doing protest. They are doing sit at home, which is civil disobedience. And the next line of action would definitely come at the also appropriate time. Thank you so much, Mr. Shegun Omo Odua. Get ready to stand up for the youth nation. Koiki Media, keep up the campaign for the indigenous people. Mrs. Olua David, they have started again running ahead of the driver. Dr. Benjamin, occupy who, occupy where, occupy when. These are the illusion. So I know that color very well, and I can tell that, the direction that, we are not hearing anything, that means that maybe because of the illusion of occupying, we are not occupying anything, and those that have been arrested, we have, we almost even, forget about them. But we know that from information that we have, they are still in the custody of the Nigerian police. So if you say you have a country, which is just a lie, there's no country, okay? So if anybody say you have a country, please disregard that nonsense. It's a complete false information to distract the minds of the Yoruba people. No, it's not, that one is a joker, it's not him. He's not that person, but this particular person has called from US, and I know him very well as well. And I could tell the direction. We are not hearing anything, but it's like, so because I've given an update of the Biafra, that we have an alliance with the Biafra. So, and we are running parallel, but we have to talk about what they are doing, and then we'll also talk about what we are doing. I'm sure this person did not even attend some of our Twitter space, with the Biafra that we've done. We've done 2. And Citizen AY has done more media, engagement with them, with Kelechi. So, coming here to now try to buttress that, Baba Akintoye is again, this is where they are trying to think that they have another. The only Yoruba self-determination leader that we have in the struggle is Professor Adebanji Akintoye. And if you disagree with him and you cannot wait for him, we would advise this individual to leave America and go to Benin Republic if you can't get to Nigeria and support them, because it is easier said than done. You can't sit down in your own comfort zone and say that they are not working. Like I told you, Timo Sofonyi, before we hand over back to the studio, we couldn't even play any music tonight. It shows how important the struggle is. There are Yoruba people that I'm aware of from UK and America presently in Benin Republic, and there are some Yoruba people that have traveled as well, and we cannot tell you what they are doing, but they are working, and when they are ready, they will tell us exactly. Yoruba World Media. Yoruba World Media is going to be live in the next few minutes. There's also our sister that are also broadcasting. Go and listen to them and stop listening to the Bole Kaja media that are running things and thinking that they are getting a nation for chicken and dogs. We are talking about a country now. We are not talking about even Arsenal, Manchester, as they are like opposition. It's not like bread and gigi, okay? So and that's a kind of a promotion to the owner of Agege Bread. So we're not talking about beans and bread here. We're talking about a country. So if you are saying that you have a country, please take that take that out of your mind quickly and let us be focused. This is how far we can go tonight. Next week, like I said, we might have a guest within the studio that would also probably give us a brief of where we are and the way forward. Some of you are not even listening to the YSDM broadcast that is coming out, and if you don't listen to the YSDM broadcast, then you will come into a program like ours and try to disrupt it, as a lot of you does. And if you are not disrupting it, you're just asking a general question, I can say we wait for further instruction from Professor country online, and they also have a country where they're just having, the parallel conversation in the Zoom, and they're excited, they're singing. I mean, all we can say is just they're creating awareness, which again is a good thing, for the progress of the Yoruba nation struggle as well. And on that note, I have no other option now to, hand over to Mr. Archie back into the studio. Yoruba nation struggle is different from Biafra struggle, yes, and even though we might be running, same thing, that the agenda of the Fulani is to subjugate and nepotism, but sit at home is not what we are doing. We are in the protest, and when the appropriate time comes, further information will go further. Thank you so much, Ruka Omomi, and the rest of you. I do know how to handle this kind of callers, and I know that caller very well. Even when they call on the other program, we know that they are the same kind of caller that come here and just try to want to disrupt the program. On that note, we appreciate everyone that have joined us again. The only two leaders that the federal government is scared and worried about as at this evening is Dr. Oloye Sunday Gbowo and Mazi Nnamdi Kanu from the Biafra. And on that note, I say a very good evening. Make sure you tune in again with me next week, when we're going to be looking into more conversation, and we wait and see whether the new NLC president, Joe Ajero, will be able to take it to bring the federal government to his knees, telling all their supporters in Nigeria by the 22nd, which will be 2 weeks precisely, whether there will be a total shutdown. And that is for me, and I hand over now to Mr. Archie back in the studio.
This is Star Radio UK. This is Star Radio UK. In your car, at home,
on your smartphone. Broadcasting worldwide, online 24/7. Broadcasting worldwide, online 24/7.
in your car, at home,
on your smartphone. The best radio show. The best